You're watching Talking About. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff.
It is Tuesday, April 17th, 2018, and we are live on this date. And if it's not this date, you're watching a rerun. And we are joined by Tom Ragu.
And my name is Star Jones. Welcome to The View. Thank you for having me. I'm really happy to be here.
Always happy to have you. And speaking of The View.
Yes, Stormy Daniels, my spiritual advisor, was on The View this morning, and I love her.
How'd she do?
She did really well. You know, there was a little discourse with Meghan McCain, which we all expected.
Sure.
But she did really well. Her gorgeous attorney was with her, Michael Avenatti.
I like him so
my
much.
future ex-husband. Get your hands off my man. and you know, he was and they were great. I mean, I think they had like 6 segments with her, so it was split up with lots of commercial breaks. And I thought that she did really well. I was talking with someone about the whole Stormy Daniels situation, and I really think that Stormy Daniels is going to ultimately be the thing. The whole controversy surrounding Stormy is going to be the thing that's going to take down this administration, this president, because what it really boils down to is the misappropriation of campaign funds. You know, I don't think that the current president's supporters care whether he slept with a porn star, whether he grabbed whatever at a club and then bragged about it on the Access Hollywood bus, whether he sexually harassed however many dozens of women he is accused of. I don't think that his supporters care about any of that. But I do think that that he's going to run into a problem with this $130,000 payment, because that really is the misappropriation. Because anyone who believes that if his attorney, Michael Cohen, paid that money out of the goodness of his heart without expecting to get paid back. Listen, I can't even get my attorney to buy me a cup of coffee or breakfast at Denny's. You understand? My attorney is not paying $130,000 to hush, you know, some porn star.
Well, it's like when they were trying to nail Al Capone, they got him for tax evasion. You know, not all the people that were murdered, but, you know, something like that.
Yeah. And so, you know, Robert Mueller is going at a very slow, tortoise-like pace. You know, we all want it to have happened already, but he's dotting every I and crossing every T, and I really predict that it's going to be this misappropriation of campaign funds that's going to.
And if I'm not mistaken, it's like this little offshoot is not central to that investigation. It's been handed off to a different court. So if Mueller does end up getting ousted, it's still active, and the administration doesn't have the control over it.
Yeah, it's our New York State Attorney General.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
So, and I would expect if there is evidence to do that in different states, I would expect to see more of that, and have the administration trying to put out a dozen different fires at once, rather than just the one that everybody's looking at.
Right, and I just can't wait for the moment where the current president is going to get deposed by Michael Avenatti. You know, and they have to answer. You know, the current president would have to answer any question that is. You know, you can't take the fifth in an arbitration hearing, and that's just going to be great. You know, like. Yeah. And also the book, the James Comey book, came out today as well.
Yep.
Yes. Right. Which I am not going to buy because he's a primary reason why we're in this situation.
Right.
And I'm not going to be forgiving enough to spend money on the book. I might go to the library and take it out and read it, but I'm not spending my money on the book.
Yeah, I won't spend money on the book either. I'll read it on Kindle though, because it's free. No, but one thing, I think he got a little catty though, because they were reading passages from the book today on I think Morning Joe with Joe and Mika.
Okay.
And you know, he was like, there's one point in the book where he talked about having meeting the current president for the first time, and he was remarking on, you know, the orange complexion and the very small hands and the white under the eyes. He said, which is I assume comes from his tanning bed, and the rat's nest that lives on top of his head. I mean, it was really going into great detail about the physical attributes of this billionaire that's in the White House. And I just thought,
alleged billionaire.
yeah, I mean, we'll never know. I mean, or maybe we will know, but we'll never really know exactly how much money he has or doesn't have. But I just thought that it was kind of a little catty. I mean, I think that he could have stuck to the details rather than getting into like personal attacks, because it would tend to then diminish his perspective and the goal of the book.
But it also generates headlines.
Yeah, exactly.
Which gets people to read the rest of the book. Mm-hmm. So I guess it's self-serving, ultimately self-serving, which is what he strikes me as is a self-serving individual. Yeah, he may have been thorough in his note-taking and meticulous at record keeping, but he's still who he is, and who he is not somebody that I particularly admire.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you write your tell-all book, Cara,
be kind.
Are you going to be kind to Jonathan,
Yes.
or are you going to? Okay.
I did want to get back to Stormy Daniels briefly, because if you want to laugh and get a lesson in how to respond to her responses to people on Twitter, I mean, she's not a stupid woman.
No, she's not stupid.
And this is the thing that cracks me up, is that people have this misconception that people that work that sex workers are somehow not intellectually capable. Have obviously never spent any time with any of these people, because they are some of the smartest people I've ever met. Mm-hmm. And I mean, her responses are just, if you want to laugh, go on Twitter.
Yeah. And check her feed.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I followed her just for the sake because of the laughs. And I felt like, I hope I'm not going to get, offers to purchase, video on demand things from her. Because I may not be a fan of her work, but I am a fan of her Twitter feed.
Subscribe to her OnlyFans page.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you. But yeah, no, she. So you have all of these people who support the current president, calling her a ridiculous human being and all sorts of other derogatory terms, and she just claps back, like just immediately, like, and the comebacks that she has for them.
It's like effortless.
Yeah. She really should get into comedy writing. It's really good.
Oh, she's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure there's a career after this, outside of the adult world. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I mean,
I think you're right, though. I do think that the thing that's going to take down this person is going to be the fact that $130,000 payoff was coming out of campaign
to say the
funds.
least. I mean, you know that there were other payoffs along the way, and those you're starting to get a little whisperings about those here and there, and see what's in the attorney's files.
Right, which is why he desperately wants the federal judge, I think her name is Justice Hill, to not make the contents of the files that the FBI confiscated to be made public. And he actually wanted to. He actually raised a motion that he wanted to have those files back, and then he would look through the files and see what's relevant, and then give it back. Because that's what honest people do.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes.
Yeah. I'll take the things because they're really not relevant to this case. I will give you the ones that are the most damning for me in my case, and then we could proceed. And she was like, "No, bitch." She was like, "No," and he lost that motion. So I'm excited for this one.
The funny thing is, it's like I don't think any of these people expected how they play ball in D.C. And now it's like people are like, "Oh no, this is how we play, motherfucker," and you don't know our game, and it's kind of astounding to see, the political life in D.C. start to.
Yeah.
Right, and what amazes me is, first of all, he surrounded himself with, like the rogues gallery of morons.
Yes.
And no one with any political experience, with the exception of Mike Pence. Like, no one is from the political world in his cabinet, or even in his inner circle, advisors.
If you tilted the camera sideways, you'd have a perfect old Batman villain. Just with surrounded, the big buffoon surrounded by idiots.
Right.
And sooner or later, it's going to be crash, bang, boof.
Pow.
Yeah.
Wham.
Wham! I loved them.
Splooge.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how the whole Stormy Daniels thing. You know, she showed up to court yesterday to the Michael Cohen hearing. It didn't even concern her, but she showed up just because she wanted to make sure that her presence was known. And of course, the media, like they were waiting for Michael Cohen to arrive, and they're all waiting like over here. And then all of a sudden, her little vehicle pulls up, and out she comes, and they're like, "Stormy!" And then they just turned around and they ran towards her and really like surrounded her, and she almost tripped, like she wasn't able to walk. And then Michael Cohen pulls up. There's no one there. There's like one woman with her iPhone.
Seriously?
There was nobody waiting for him, and he was like, "Hi, Michael Cohen, attorney for the president of the United States of America." And that was it.
Oh, good Lord.
Oopsie.
And she did that on purpose. So that was like a live tweet right there. Like she tweeted him live. She got out of the elevator and it was out of her car, and it was as if she was tweeting him, except she did it in person.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That is funny.
And circulating today was the character sketch, the police sketch of the person who she alleges intimidated her.
Oh, I didn't
Right.
know that.
And it bears a striking resemblance to one, Scaramucci, and another is somebody on 45's personal security staff.
Really?
Yeah.
And also Brad Pitt.
Yes.
And it does. It does look like a young Brad Pitt, and also Gus. What's his name from the Olympics? Gus
Kenworthy?
Kenworthy. Gus Kenworthy. Looks like Gus Kenworthy or 1992 Brad Pitt.
Stop it.
He does.
I haven't been able to look at the
does,
news
doesn't he?
yet, so.
No, very good-looking guy, square jaw. She described this person who, according to her,
well dressed and
right in a suit, and according to her, approached her outside of an exercise class at the mall, and you know, oh, and I think the email address, if you have information, they're offering $100,000 to anyone who can identify this person. And I think the email address is findthethug at gmail.com. I'm not even kidding.
Oh,
oh, that's
God.
funny.
Find
But
the thug.
the closest picture matches were, for me, in my opinion, were Scaramucci and the security person whose last name was Calamari.
Calamari.
Yeah.
Well, as a matter of fact, I had some of that the other night. It was tasty. Salty, but sweet.
It was tasty.
It was tasty.
Did you have marinara sauce with it?
I made clam sauce.
Oh, very nice.
Right.
Oh, good Lord.
I did not know that. Now I can't wait to
To go home and look at the,
Yeah.
check News and Guts and find the picture. And I love News and Guts.
Is that a website?
It's a feed and it's a website. I think it's newsandguts.com, and I think it's Dan Rather is the backbone of it. So.
Oh, News and Guts. Okay.
News and
I had
Guts.
never heard of that.
Me neither.
But yeah, so she was on, and then tomorrow James Comey is on The View.
Okay.
And so he's going to be talking about the book. And there's this thing, with Meghan McCain where, she was complaining the other day on the View about how she can't seem to get a word out, and the audience was booing her. At one point she said something, and the entire audience of 200 people, or however many people it is, booed her. And then they went to commercial break, and then they came back, and she was like, I really didn't appreciate being booed. And I'm just thinking, this show has been on for well over 20 years, 25 years. I don't know what season they're in now. But ever since, the Elizabeth Hasselbeck days, we have had the conservative voice on there, and it's always been the voice that the other members of the panel don't agree with. And it's always been the voice that a lot of the members of the audience tend not to agree with as well.
Right.
And so when you took this job, and they called her, I mean, it's not like she was like, well, I'm not on the 5 anymore, or I'm not on Fox and Friends, so I need to find work. The producers of The View contacted her. This couldn't have been a mystery to her that she was going to be the lone conservative voice on The View,
Right.
and that she was going to be shouted down by Whoopi Goldberg and Joy Behar. This could not have been a mystery.
But it's also the type of chemistry that they're looking for on the show, because when they did have very well-spoken, intelligent conservative voice, that person only lasted one season.
Right. Yeah.
Who was the
Nicole
original?
Wallace.
Nicole Wallace or Candace Cameron Bure, even though she's not intelligent or well-spoken, but
Yeah, but
I know
Nicole
what
Wallace, I respect her a great deal.
No, she was a really great. I thought that she was fantastic.
Yeah, but she didn't spark fights, so it's the fights are the ratings, and that's what people are tuning in for. So
They always make me very uncomfortable.
The fighting?
Yeah. It reminds me so much of Thanksgiving dinner, and instinctively, when they're fighting on The View, I say, "Pass the potatoes," and there's nobody even there. You know what I'm saying?
I would not want to go head to head with Whoopi Goldberg. I mean,
Right.
no.
Right.
have you ever been to the show?
Yeah.
So
Numerous times.
Okay.
But at the other location, because they recently changed.
yeah, they
studio.
moved to where a game show used to be there. The one that what's her name used to host from The View.
Meredith Vieira?
Yes.
I like her.
Oh, the Who Wants to Be a
Millionaire,
Millionaire?
yes.
Yeah.
Is that show still on?
Yeah, I think it's done in California now.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Chris Harrison hosts it now from Survivor.
I don't even know who that is.
I thought Meredith Vieira did a great job.
She did,
Yeah, but you know.
but she got tired of it.
Yeah. But you know what? I know I've been at the Audience of the View numerous times. Yeah.
Did you boo Meghan McCain?
This was back when who was on? Well, it was of course Joy and Whoopi. I think it was Sherry Shepherd was there. So it was a while back.
Okay.
It was when they were in the old studio.
It's a very interesting show culture because there's the invisible wall between the audience and the hosts, and there's not much interaction except occasionally they'll hand around a mic, but don't approach. Stay where
Right.
you're supposed to be. I mean, I've gone to, we talked about it on the previous half hour, I've gone to Live with Kelly and I've gone to The Chew, and there's all this interaction with the hosts, and it's just very congenial and very, very friendly. And they give you stuff sometimes.
Yeah, we were at the Chew a couple times also. Yeah.
And totally different.
Yeah. Yeah, Nikki Sunshine, who you know, and I think she was a guest on this show.
she's been here.
She came with us. Momma Ragu, it was Momma Ragu, myself, and Nikki Sunshine. We went to the View once, and then we also went to the Chew, and it was it's a great time. I love. If I had the time, I would go to television shows more often during the day. But it's a big commitment because you have
gotta
to
wait in line.
There's waiting in line. That's about 2 hours, and then the actual show.
Momma Ragu had to wait standing for 2
They
hours.
actually brought out I was so embarrassed. They brought out a folding chair and they had her sit down
Why were you embarrassed?
because she was the only one. Like everyone else.
There's an inside seating area now for The View.
Oh,
you
that's
still
good.
you wait outside for a little while, but then they bring you to an inside seating area.
Oh, that's good.
Have
That's
you
a good
ever
idea.
met Tom's mom?
Yes, at a club. Just a
She's
brief
so
hello.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't make her stand for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Bastards.
Yeah, no, we stood in line, and it was hot, and it was summertime, and we were there and doing all the things, and then one of the security people came and they noticed her, and they said, "Oh, would you like a seat?" And of course she said yes, and I was like,
She's no dummy.
exactly. And then they brought a chair for her. And so there she is. Everyone else is standing, and they're like shifting from one foot to the other, and they're tired, and they're angry, and it's New Yorkers. And then she's, sitting on her chair like this. It was very lovely. And then every time it moved up, we had to get the chair, move it up a little bit. And I'm like, okay. But it was a great time. That's my little companion, Momma Ragu.
I know.
She's like my little buddy. I don't know when it changed from, mother figure, parental figure, to my little friend that I take around with me wherever I go.
No, you know what though? You know what it is about your mom? This is why I think she's so badass, is that she's down for all of this stuff. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and there are, when I first started performing comedy in the comedy clubs, and she would come to basically every show that I ever did. And some of the people, they have let's say, an X-rated act. There's a lot of language, a lot of topics, some props, and my mother's there in the front row, loving it.
Yeah, it never phased her.
Yeah, and I don't think that it's a case of it went over her head.
No.
She understood exactly what was going on, exactly what was being said, what the topic was. She understood what that prop was and what it was really for.
Yeah.
And she just loved it. I have friends. And I would say, like, for instance, oh, John, are you sure you want to go see, John is performing tonight, but he's kind of got a little bit of a dirty act. And she said, well, he has a filthy act. What are you going to do? I mean, that's what she would say. So I said, okay, I'm just warning you that that it's it's a bunch of hate and discontent, X-rated words, and props. And
Okay.
She's like, do I have to pay for the 2-drink minimum? And I'm like, no, they probably will give that to you, like always. Never paid for a drink, never paid admission. Who has it better than her?
It's a good life.
It is a good life. She comes to the radio studio a lot now. She's coming Friday.
You know what? I think you had posted pictures of her on social media when she was younger, and when I saw those photos, that is when it clicked in my mind. I'm like, oh yeah, now I get it. Now I get why she's so feisty and so down to do stuff. Like. Yeah,
she had a very similar look in the '60s to Elizabeth Taylor, and I think that all the ladies they tried to emulate. Elizabeth Taylor,
the icons of the time.
Yeah, or Joan Crawford, with the hair and the eyebrows and all that stuff. So so she, but we've been constant companions, and she's my little buddy, and she goes everywhere that.
That's good. That's a great relationship.
Yeah, it's a great adult parent-child relationship now.
Yeah. Speaking of parent-child relationships, how's Pete Ragu?
He's doing very well.
Okay, good.
So my little puppy will be 11.
What?
Yeah, I know. I know, it's crazy.
I remember when you got him.
Yes, I remember when I got him too. We were just talking before the show. When I rescued him, he was 8 months old.
Yep.
Skinny and petrified and shaking at everything. And now, he runs the house.
Yes.
He, for the holidays last year, I went to Raymore and Flanagan and bought him his own small little couch.
Shut up.
Yeah, a love seat. I got him a little love seat because he doesn't like the dog seats or the dog beds because they're too small, and they he told me this that
Yeah, he's not a dog.
yeah, and he doesn't like the stuffing in there, and it hurts his back, and he gets a stiff neck, and he would like a real couch.
Okay.
So we went to Raymore and Flanagan. They had a sale.
Stop it.
I am not even kidding.
No, keep going.
and I got a little love seat. It's actually smaller than a couch. We all know what a love seat is. And $99.99. And I got him this.
Was it from the Cindy Crawford collection?
I don't know.
Do you have an Afghan over the back?
Yeah. No,
Does he love it?
He loves it, and he jumps up, and I got my. This is what happens to dog owners. See, before we rescue a dog or bring a dog into our lives, there are lives.
You're normal.
There are lives, and what's important is getting up, going to work, your relationship, maybe your children, and then you bring a dog. I'm sure it happens with cats as well, but when you bring a dog into your life, the dog has taken over my life. My life. Even though I have tens of things going on with the radio show and everything else, my life revolves around this dog. And he wakes me up every morning at 7:30, I'm like, oh,
Desperate.
gotta go to the bathroom. And so so I take him for a little walk, and it's just I cook for him. We don't do dog food.
Okay.
So it's
So who really rescued who?
I think we rescue each other. So and I love him and he loves me, and
Do you cook at home?
I do.
Because you mentioned the calamari. You a good cook?
I am a good cook. I actually, I cook every single day.
Definitely something for another show. We could probably do a whole other.
We'll do
show
a cooking segment the next time.
That would be
Was your
wonderful.
mom a good cook when you were growing up?
Yeah.
Has she been slowly teaching you all of her secrets?
No, I got to learn everything on my own. But she
What?
does cook. She does cook once a month. She still cooks once a month.
Okay, but where can we find you online?
I'm at tomragu.com.
Okay.
And also my radio show, TGIF with Tom and Laura, is every Friday from 12 noon to 2 p.m. Eastern on bboxradio.com, bboxradio.com.
And thank you so much for taking
Thank
the
you so
time.
much for having
Thanks
me. I
for
really had a
coming.
nice time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching us. I'm John Griffith.
I'm Cara Kilduff.
And join us again next time. Follow us at talkingabout_TV. And we'll see you soon. Bye.
That's what I'm talking about, talking about, talking about.
Backpacks for the Street is a nonprofit organization providing backpacks containing basic food supplies, hygienic products, and information to the homeless of New York City. To find out how you can help, visit backpacksforthestreet.org. To find out how you can help them in this mission, go to the website backpacksforthestreet.org.
If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees, major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.